Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Tuesday, February the 4th. The year's 2025. Let's talk trading. The hardest thing about trading. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. A friendly reminder about risk management. Always have your risk management in place. Never lose more than you're willing to lose on any one single trade. Now, I'm going to talk about the hardest thing about trading. You know, the way I look at trading is it's kind of like a three-legged stool. One leg is your method or your system. The second leg is your risk and money management. And the third leg is your brain, your brain management, your self-control or lack thereof. And to me, that's the hardest part. And that's the part that most traders fail to work on. If you think about it, if you can be honest with yourself, in fact, I'd even like you to be honest to the world here. Type. If you watch this video, I want you to reply. And just let me know which of the three is your weakest leg. And I think if you're really honest, you're going to have to say your brain management. Chances are you've tried more than one system. And chances are you've probably tried more than one system within a short amount of time. Let's say 3 months, 6 months, a year, especially if you're new. And if you're losing, if you haven't become consistently profitable, you're probably looking to add indicators or change systems. And traders almost always go to the charts and start moving things around or taking things off and adding things to the charts in the hope that somehow it's going to make them more money. And what's kind of funny and why I'm kind of chuckling is if you think about, 100 years ago when they were trading, they didn't have all these computers or charts. They basically had an open call market. They didn't have these fancy indicators. Best they could do is write stuff down on a piece of paper. And that was it. They didn't have, online charts or online news or any of that stuff. So how did they do it? I mean, if you really think about it, it's like, well, wait a minute, there was traders back then that made money. How did those people who were successful, what did they do? Well, most of them were very self-controlled. I mean, look at Warren Buffett and his buddy Munger. What they tell you to do. Or some of the other traders, a lot of times it's what you don't do makes you money. For example, if you're in a trade, you don't get out too early. And if you're not in a trade, you don't go chasing. You don't get in too early. You wait. And the waiting can be one of the hardest things to do, waiting for your signal, whatever your method tells you to do. Because you see price moving. And you're thinking, look at how much money I could be making. I mean, for example, here, the rat zone. I've been wanting to short the pound. It got up here, but it was in the launch pad. And I know a lot of times it'll go higher. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. And I'll go ahead and make today's video because I knew I was going to have to wait. Because when this hour started, let's see, it started with this bar right here. And it hadn't quite gotten to this level. So I said I was going to wait. And the other thing was, let's see, do I have that chart in this? Yeah. I was also waiting for it to become a holo. So that's what I was waiting for, was a holo trade. And so it's really hard to be disciplined. So, you know, for the longest time, I just traded the pound, but about the past 2 months, I think I also trade the yen, just because I'm better at trading the yen than I am at the pound. So it's like, but I like to trade with Walmart, so, and he trades the pound. So the thing is, I have to sit here and wait. Now, you could have said, well, couldn't you have gotten in that trade and made the money as price goes up? Well, I could have, looking back, but that wasn't my trade. Because the other thing about this trade is, and it's something I'm working on, is capturing this H4 profit. And what Walmart has observed is that price will go in one direction, so the candle's green, then all of a sudden it'll turn it red and come down for some pips. So that's something else I'm waiting for. I'm either going to short it if it does a holo, which you'll have to get up to almost 50, actually above 50, so it can come back down, or I'll take this trade. Yes, of course, I could even do a rat trade if I get some signals, but you see, that's another problem. What's hard is controlling yourself to not try and do too much, trade too many systems, because I can find a system that says go long right now, and I can find a system or indicator or method that says, oh, go short right now. So, but do they have a statistical edge? And plus, I know news is going to come out in about 32 minutes, so that might move the market. It's red news. So, if you're really honest with yourself, you'll probably go, yeah, I did one or more of those things you talked about. I flipped systems, or you even change instruments. I mean, Walmart's been trading a pound, I don't know for how many years. The thing is, it doesn't wear out. You can do it over and over and over and over and over again. When trading these pairs, they don't wear out. And that saying came from an old guy, Market Master, used to have a PayPal chat room. And he used to say that about stocks. They don't wear out. You can just trade them over and over. So you can see here, price is just reversed and going up. Now, of course, could have gone long at 40 because that's the launch pad, and could have picked up a couple of pips real quick there. But I'm making a video, and I usually don't trade while I'm making videos. And see, once again, that's just part of the discipline that you have to have. You have to be able to tell yourself no and stick with it. Because if you don't, you can get burned or get yourself in a situation where you got to trade your way out. And trust me, I know, because it happens to me an awful lot. But the thing is, I know it's me. It's not the market. It's not the broker. It's not whatever. It's all on me. And as a trader, you have to accept that. Because chances are you did something, even if you followed your system and followed all your rules and the market went against you, it was still you. You made the decision to enter. And the thing is, sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. That's just trading. Boy, look at that. That would have been a nice short out of the smart rat zone. Almost 6 pips. But that it really is most likely your weakest leg is your brain management. And that's just something really hard to accept when it comes to trading. Because you see other people and they claim to be making money. You know, there's all these one micro lot, wizards out there on some of these trading forums. And so you have to be careful and use your own brain to figure some things out and not listen. Because almost every day somebody's popping some new indicator out there. And you can even put me in that category because, yeah, I'm working on a few new things once again. Because I see things and it's like, oh, let me write an indicator to see if what I think I see really has any validity to it. Because that's all indicators are. They're like training wheels. They just kind of help you see things. They do some of the work for you. But really the hardest thing about trading is accepting the fact that it's you. You are what you need to work on, not what you put on the chart. I mean, you can have the dashboards and the graphs and the horizontal lines and the squigglies and all the gauges in the world. But the thing is, if you give this to one trader, they might be able to understand it and make it work for them. Give it to another trader, it doesn't work for them. So it's the trader, it's not the method. And that's just cold, hard facts that's really tough to accept. And that's why I think it's the hardest thing about trading. Is realizing it's you and not anything else. And the other thing is about your brain management. Sometimes you let fear take over, and you're afraid to trade. I already made a video I think called "Afraid to Trade" a long time ago. But since you can't control the outcome, you might as well take your chances and see what happens. But you just make sure you follow all your rules. It's and it's really not that difficult unless you make it that difficult. I'm just curious about something here. So, fellow traders, fastest 15 minutes in trading is over. So, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. Go out there and drain the banks. Rumpled